Yo, what's happening, y'all? This is B Jizzle of the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Welcome to the #1 LA Clipper podcast out there. We want to first give you guys a shout out, LA Clipper fan, LA Clipper Nations, for being here. Share this podcast with your family and friends. They will not be disappointed, but let's get it popping.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Crossing that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you explode the face. Now you official now. But you got a soul to say. I just been cooking that new. I'm about to drop in the few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth. I ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Now my name all in the news. Tripping on all of my moves. Quote me on this, got a lot more to prove. Remember I came in this bitch, fresh out the county with nothing to lose.
Nothing. No. On the ground, you. But I don't do this shit for nothing. No, not at all. You. But my money red, that you do. Oh, yeah. So I don't do this shit for nothing.
Rolling up some good, pulling up till we get faded. You know how we do it. Everybody take a flex on me. I got the keys to the city. I don't need no limousine. I turn up when I pull up and tell my booking agent book a show. Running around with the paper bag, running around with the paper bag. Going crazy spending all this cash. Going crazy spending all this cash. If I spend it, I'ma get it back. Even when I ride around dirty, a nigga don't need a seatbelt. A nigga don't need a seatbelt. Nah, it don't cost to keep it real. Run up, get done up. Shit can get real. Fuck around and get your ass rocked. Nigga, fuck around and take your shit. Got you asking God why. Drag your ass into an alley. Pull out aim for the target. Should've never been around the killers. In my town, we the fucking realest. No cheddar bars round here. I get the spray and they gon' get down. Ski mask over my face. Catch a body in broad day. Catch a body in broad day.
I got the key to the city. I got a hold of Shadiddy. Talk to that bitch in Swahili. Tattoo my name in graffiti. Whack out your hood in graffiti. Come through your hood on the weekly. None of y'all niggas can't see me. None of y'all niggas can't see me. Y'all ain't got nothing like this over there. Bunch of frontline millionaires. Bunch of self-made at the Trump pay. Guess the odds really took it there. Any problem, I'ma reappear. With a squad you already fear. All this time I've been playing fair. 7 digits every single year. Niggas die, niggas disappear. Alibis, I was really there. Life a crime till I get the chair. Columbine in my trigger hair. Still I rise and I took the stairs. Feel a fire, it's a different glare. All these fights, it was never fair. Busting knuckles, still I'm swinging fears. Takes the salt inside my dripping tears. You should know I never had a fear. You should know I never had a shot, never had a chance till I took it here. Man, it's proud, but I see it clear. Strategize, I'm an engineer. Pick a side, gotta keep it there. Switching up, nigga, looking weird. I got the key to the city. I got a hold of Shadiddy. Talk to that bitch in Swahili. Tattoo my name in graffiti. Whack out your hood in graffiti. Come through your hood on the weekly. None of y'all niggas can't see me. None of y'all niggas can't see me.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos. Hit that like button as y'all come in here. Hit the share, subscribe. Hit that Cash App. $ Slick Rick 1991 son. $ Slick Rick 1991 son as well. If you guys do not have Cash App, go to our Venmo at BJ/MATHEWS/1. That's our Venmo at BJ/MATHEWS/1. Super stickers and super comments are available as well. Guys, if you guys do not know, let me just make this very, very clear. We make sure all the time to give you guys quality, high value content consistently, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. As you guys continuously support us, we are going to make sure we make it even better and better and better. So make sure you guys continuously sow into the Pull Up Basketball Podcast because we are going to continuously sow into you. But just want to put that out there. As y'all come in, make sure y'all hit that like button. This is a pre-recorded video. This is not an actual live. Tomorrow, actually on Wednesday, we will have a open live talk, and the discussion will be talking about who had the highest peak between 5 certain players. So I know yesterday I had my video with Steph Curry and Kawhi Leonard, and I looked back in the comments in the chat. It was actually kind of funny. The people that were engaging, and that's what I want. I want people to engage in the conversation. I want people to talk about how they feel about the subject. Whether they agree or disagree. And that's how we build. That's how we continuously have, talking points. You don't want everybody on the same page, saying, the same thing. That just becomes boring. So I welcome all the engagement, agreement, disagreement. We'll be having an open talk tomorrow. That'll be our opportunity for everybody to come in and share their thoughts about, the subject we're going to have at hand. But yeah, tap into that. We're going to go into this subject right here. And it's another compare and contrast. And this one is who's better between Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. All right. Who's better between Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant? Make sure you guys hit that like button before y'all enter in. Now, I know one particular person who is going to be all in the chat, which if he's not already, that's my boy Mello Riley. All right. So this video is for you, brother. Mello Riley, Kevin Durant fan, Kevin Durant fanatic. Wherever he goes is where Mello goes. It is what it is. You got more player fans, you got actually fans of teams. But yeah, we're going to talk about this one because I think this is a real interesting one. You got two guys who are particularly this, at the same position. You got two guys who, are not too far apart in age. KD's 30, about to be 36. Kawhi Leonard just turned 33. They're about 3 to 4 years apart. Both around the same, like I said, the same position, same size. Kevin Durant's, of course, taller. Kawhi Leonard, of course, is bigger, girth-wise. They come, from that same era, that same ilk in the 2010s where they were on the top of their games. So I thought this was a good comparison. I thought this was something where, we can really touch on, who is the better player between the two. Now, before I start, I'm going to say some stuff that I don't think people are going to expect as this video is going. So y'all continuously stick around as y'all, come in here. But Kawhi versus KD. Now, obviously, if you look at Kevin Durant right now, he is at the end of his prime. He's actually still really good. You can still make a case he's still right at the tail end of his prime because I think last year he averaged like 28 points per game. He just had a great phenomenal Olympics. Still, a person can shoot over the top of anybody. One of the most prolific scorers of all time. Going to retire one of the top 15 to 20 greatest players of all time, in my personal opinion. Right now, if KD retires right now, he'll be a top 15, top 20 player of all time. So, you can say even after LeBron James, he's been the most successful small forward in the NBA in the 2010s, right? You can make a case that Kevin Durant is one of the top 5 small forwards of all time. Well, actually, you don't even make a case. He already is. If he's top 15, top 20, you got LeBron, Larry Bird, and then him. You know what I'm saying? Those are the 3 people as far as the resumes you could put right there. So KD solidified, even if he retires right now. But like I said, I see KD playing for at least another 2 seasons, unless he decides just to hang it up because he still can score the ball. He's still, elite at what he does. So he got time. He can still, stick around for like 4 years. Kawhi Leonard right now is a little bit different. Of course, like I said, Kawhi Leonard is a little bit younger. Right, he has not, experienced the longevity as far as playing at the most important times as Kevin Durant, and of course he's somebody that has to get over this injury bug. Kawhi Leonard is not a top 15, top 20 player right now as far as the resumes go. I have Kawhi Leonard top 25. top 25 right now all time. Of course, if the injuries did not happen, he'd be ranked higher. But Kawhi is, a person who has accolades of himself. He has, two Finals MVPs, two Defensive Player of the Years, two championships. You know what I'm saying? Two. And right now he can retire. He can be a bona fide Hall of Famer player right now, even with all of the injury setbacks. You can have Kawhi Leonard in the NBA Hall of Fame as a top 25, maybe a stretch top 30 player of all time. Okay, now that we set that apart, let's get into a few things in compare and contrast. All right, so if you look at the screen right here, you got Kevin Durant versus Kawhi Leonard. Now we're just gonna go through, a little bit of a cheat sheet. Obviously, like I, mentioned in the realm, kind of like the logistics of, both of these guys' careers. Let's get a little bit into more deeper. Of course, we compare and contrast championships and seasons. KD and Kawhi both have 2 championships apiece. Kevin Durant has played 4 more seasons than Kawhi Leonard, 16-12. Playoffs played 13-11 goes to Kevin Durant. All-Star games 14-6 goes to Kevin Durant. Now you look at the honors and awards. MVP season, Kevin Durant 1, Kawhi Leonard 0. They both have 2 Finals MVPs apiece. Kevin Durant has 6 All-NBA first teams. Kawhi Leonard has 3 first teams. All-NBA teams altogether, Kevin Durant has 11 to Kawhi Leonard 6. Kevin Durant has 3 all-defensive first. Kawhi has 3 all-defensive first teams to Kevin Durant 0. All-defensive teams, Kawhi Leonard 7-0 goes to Kawhi. Defensive player goes to Kawhi 2-0. Scoring leaders go to Kevin Durant 4-0. Kawhi Leonard 1 steals leader to Kevin Durant 0. Rookie of the Years 1 to Kevin Durant 0 to Kawhi Leonard. I'm not going to even talk about the NBA Cup first team, even though it says KD has 1-0. I think that just needs to be just X'd out, man. Nobody cares about the in-season tournament. No one cares about the NBA Cup unless you're a team that has to have the play-in or whatever. I think certain things like that need to be X'd out, right? But it's on the list. Now, that's just a little bit of, a rundown of KD versus Kawhi. Now, if you look at their seasons, of course, in the championships, based off of, like I say, and I'm going to continuously mention the injuries that KD has had versus to Kawhi, the numbers and the years are not going to match. Right? They're not going to match as far as, I'm saying, the accolades is not going to match because of, all because of the injuries. That's essentially what it comes down to. Now, we look at the head-to-head between these two, right? You got Kevin Durant, who is 7-8 to Kawhi Leonard's 8-7 in the regular season. In the playoffs, KD's 13-9 to Kawhi Leonard's 9-13, right? If you look at the games right there under the overall stats, that first row, as y'all come here, keep hitting that like button. Keep hitting that like button as y'all come up in here, all right? Don't be stingy, right? Make sure y'all continuously hit that like button. If you look at the games between these two, KD has played 1,061 games to Kawhi Leonard 696. So obviously KD's been more available than Kawhi Leonard. Yes, KD has sustained some injuries Kawhi has kept as well. He sustained the torn Achilles back in 2019, which kept him out for, of course, the NBA Finals that year in the whole entire season in 2020, which was the bubble. Then he came back the next year. KD was, arguably the best player in the NBA. Arguably. I'm not going to say he was because there was, guys like Kawhi in that 2021 playoff run who was just as impactful. So I won't say he was defensively, but he was definitely arguably after, that Milwaukee Bucks series in 2021. Now you look at that, you look at the numbers, statistic-wise, 27 points per game to Kawhi Leonard's 20, rebound 7 to Kawhi's 6, assists go to 4.4 to 3.0 Kevin Durant, 1.1 steals per game to Kawhi Leonard's 1.7 goes to Kawhi Leonard. Blocks per game goes to 1.1. Kevin Durant to Kawhi Leonard 0.7. Field goal percentage 50% to 49 goes to KD. 3-pointer 38.7 goes to 39.1 goes to Kawhi. Free throw percentage shooting 88 goes to KD to 86 goes to Kawhi Leonard. EFG Kawhi Leonard beats him out by 0.1, which is not much. 55% 0.3 to KD's 55.2%. Box plus minus 6.7, 6.6 goes to Kawhi, even though it's not really all that important. And then VORP goes to 84.6, goes to KD, to Kawhi Leonard is 48.4. All right. I know that y'all seen a lot of numbers. Make sure y'all just continue to stick with me. Excuse me. All right. So that takes care of that. And of course, the awards and honors we just went over. Now let's take a breather real quick. And let's just look at what we see on the screen. All right. I want y'all to really look at what y'all looking at on the screen. If you look at the numbers, KD beats Kawhi Leonard out of the main categories, 4 out of 5 categories: points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. And then Kawhi got some in steals. Right. If you look at the shooting percentages, Kawhi Leonard is 1% lower than KD. Well, actually not even, 0.2% lower than KD. He's 4% or 5% over KD from 3. And then free throw percentage goes to KD 2% over Kawhi and 2%. Right? And then EFG goes to Kawhi Leonard, which basically all that means is when you combine the field goal, the 3-point, and the free throw, that's your EFG percentage for people that don't know. If you want to know your EFG percentage, your efficiency field goal percentage, all you guys got to do is average the field goal percentage, the 3-point, and the free throw. And there you got it. Now, if you were to look at the totality of their stats, if you were to look at their resumes, if you were looking to look at, even just how one came into the league with more height than the other one was more, I think, more marketed than the other one. I'm talking about KD over Kawhi. When you look at how more one person is more into responding to the media to provide versus the other one's looking to more so ignore the media, you would make the case that KD's a better player than Kawhi Leonard. He has been. Now, let me give y'all a little bit of some background about me. There was a point in time I thought Kevin Durant was better than Kawhi Leonard. Surprise, surprise. When KD was with OKC and Kawhi Leonard was with the Spurs, I remember getting into a back and forth. Actually, no. KD was with Golden State and Kawhi Leonard was with the he was with the Raptors before he won his championship. And I said KD was a better player than Kawhi Leonard. Right? I said, look at the resumes, look at the stats, look at everything in totality. KD is a better player than Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard became into his own and got better, but I think KD has been better. He's been greater longer. And I remember one of my homies who's from San Antonio, I played ball with in college, where I went to, play college ball. He sat out there and told me, he said, I would take Kawhi over Kevin Durant. Now, of course, I wasn't really hearing it because, if y'all ever been to San Antonio, a lot of them Spurs fans just ride for Kawhi, they ride for their guys no matter what. And at that time, Kawhi Leonard was, they won a championship there. Of course, this was even after he left to go to Toronto. He was looked at as being better. Then he was the best player in the league. That's how he saw it. So I'm like, bro, what are you looking at? Like, look at everything that on the screen. Look at the stats in totality. I'm like, how do you have Kawhi over KD? And he said, bro, you got to remember it. The system that we play in San Antonio doesn't allow Kawhi to get off like that. I said, what do you mean? He said, you ever see Tim Duncan averaging 20 plus more than 25 points per game? You ever see, guys like, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili averaging 25 points? You're not going to see that because the ball and how things are, operating in San Antonio is not about me. It's about team. It's about sharing the ball. It's about helping the helper. It's about, not worried about your stats, more so worrying about making the right play. And when you have a player or a team that runs like that, that means something's going to have to give, and that's individual numbers. I said, okay. He told me basically when you look at how Kawhi and KD face off, and this was, I think, this was right in 2018. This is right before Kawhi Leonard came back from his injury and went to Toronto. He was telling me that if you watch how Kawhi and KD face off, you'll see what I'm talking about. So what I chose to do, of course, build up some film, right? And so I decided to pull up some film, right? And this is like, one of the first, videos I seen. Now, again, this is a year after I said KD was still the better player. Now, again, one guy has just been marketed to me more than the other guy. And I'm gonna give KD also, what I'm saying, some stuff as well. Cause I know I got people here. What about KD? What he did to Kawhi? I'm gonna talk to y'all about everything in totality. But this was game one of the 2017 Western Conference Finals. The year after they lost Tim Duncan, and it was Kawhi Leonard's team. Now, Kawhi Leonard, if y'all remember, in game one, was destroying the entire Golden State Warriors team. That was Draymond Green, that was Klay Thompson, that was Kevin Durant, that was Steph Curry. It didn't matter who you put on them. Andre Iguodala. They tried every type of defense to try to, stop Kawhi, and they could not do it. They had LaMarcus Aldridge. They had an older Manu Ginobili. They had an older Tony Parker. They had Danny Green. They had Patty Mills. They had Jonathan Simmons, David Lee. Those are the players they had, right? And it's, as I told y'all before, the system that the Spurs have, basically you don't go over there averaging 25, 30 points off the rip. What y'all seeing right now is what Kawhi Leonard had to earn from years and years of, what he had to put in with the Spurs as just basically sacrificing his game. But now that you've had Tim Duncan gone, now that you have, an older Tony Parker and an old Manu Ginobili, there's really nobody else in line outside LaMarcus Aldridge who demands the ball. So now you can afford to have Kawhi Leonard have the green light. And that's exactly what he did in this game one. Now, it's just a game one series, but I watched this game from totality, and I'm just looking at him like, damn, they cannot stop this dude. And it wasn't just that one game. It was also the entire season. If y'all watched in 2016, 2017, between the Spurs and the Warriors, they're the only team in the entire, not Western Conference, in the entire league that had a winning record against the Warriors. I think the Warriors were 67-15. When I talk to Warrior fans to this day, they are afraid of what would have happened if this dude did not get hurt. And I don't blame him. The dude was literally destroying the entire team by himself. That was the play right there. He actually hurt his leg. Right? People think it was just a size up Chilia play, but he actually hurt his leg first, primarily stepping on David Lee's foot. Right? So he played through it. And then he got hurt again. Now, this was why it was so bad, because the way that this dude, Zaza Cheap Shot, basically set a hit out, and I don't care what no one says, they sent a hit out for Kawhi Leonard to get hurt in that series, because y'all see the score is 76-55. If y'all watch how Zaza went under Kawhi Leonard's leg on purpose, after you saw him already walking and limping up the court, they said, let me see if I can go ahead and, look at this. You actually look away, actually, as if you didn't know what you were doing, but then you're still scooting up under his landing spot. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a dirty play. I don't care how you slice it. Basically, they knew who Kawhi Leonard was. And what better way to, get him out than basically politely give him some, a lightly gentle tap. And then after that series, Kawhi Leonard never returned. So I bring that up to bring this up. Make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all come in here. That's when I started looking at Kawhi Leonard and KD a little bit different. See, the KD I was looking at over Kawhi was the KD in Oklahoma City. The KD that won even when he won his first championship. When he won his back-to-back championship, I was still looking at like, okay, KD has the championships back-to-back. The Warriors are dominating. Blase. He did all this in OKC. He was a season MVP. He got to the conference finals 3 times. He beat the Spurs 2 out of 3 times in the 2010s and 2012 and 2016, right? Of course, Kawhi was a rookie in 2012, so I don't really count much of that. But 2016, they beat the Spurs, right? KD was leading the charge, and then you had Kawhi Leonard on the other side. So that's why I'm looking at when this guy's better than this dude. But you know, certain situations happen. So y'all remember this right here in Kevin Durant, what he tweeted. You know, Kevin Durant loves to tweet. Kevin Durant called Kawhi Leonard a system player in 2014. He's doing work like this because of the system. Now, this is a famous quote. One of the famous quotes by a player. Make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all come in here. Smash that like button as y'all come in, my people. All right, don't be stingy. Make sure y'all smash that like button. KD had a quote on Twitter where he basically called Kawhi Leonard a system player. What is a system player? A system player is simply a player that benefits from the system, right? A player that basically is, able to maximize his game because of a system, not more so his individual game. So if we read a little bit, more into it, this is more of the quote he said. He said he's doing work like this because of the system. Put Paul George on that Spurs, what would happen? Right? That's what KD said about Kawhi Leonard. Now, let me just say this. Half and half is true. The first half that's true, he said put Paul George in that Spurs system, what would happen? Well, what would have happened was you would see Paul George be a much more high IQ player. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. The problem with Paul George has nothing to do with his game. It's everything to do with his IQ. Basically, taking smart shots, take high efficient shots, knowing how to not use his dribble, overuse his dribble, and know how to get to his spots better. He literally has everything in his game to be the best player in the league, except the IQ. His IQ, he makes, sometimes makes bad, poor decisions with, his passes, right? He doesn't take the smartest shots all the time. All that stuff would have been nipped in the bud if he played for the Spurs. And you would probably look at Paul George a lot different. And I've said it before, he's never been coached. He's never really been under a coach to really teach him how to offensively utilize his game, his individual talent. That will all change this year under Nick Nurse. That is why I said this is a team in Philadelphia that's going to be much more. You guys are going to see a Paul George that's probably going to be the best, one of the best versions of themselves. Because I think before, in Indiana and OKC, he was just relying more so on individual talent. Now he gets a chance to be under the coach where he actually can learn how to play. So that's partially true. If you put Paul George in that Spurs system, that would be problems. Hell, it was problems when he was, had his own team. But you won't have the numbers of Paul George, right? You won't have the same numbers that you guys were, used to seeing in Indiana, and which y'all saw in OKC, those memorable moments, because the Spurs don't operate like that. So KD was correct. But the other side was him saying and minimizing Kawhi Leonard's talent and his game and saying he's doing work like this because of the system. And that's why I say the Spurs system could be very, very, tricky. Because it takes away from what you feel like you can do better. Like a guy like, Steven Jackson, a guy like DeJounte Murray, those players really, I feel like those type of players, their games were held back because of the system. But if you guys have international players and players that don't have the individual talent, like some of these American-born black players, the system is pretty much good for you because what it does, if you don't have the talent, it will make you look better because you actually will be more productive. So yeah, players like that, a system is good for them. It's good for anybody to be perfectly honest. It makes you shoot. You're more efficient when you're in a system. Guys like Kobe Bryant, who had Phil Jackson and Tex Winter, who basically ran that triangle offense, was able to have more production than Kobe Bryant being by himself, having to basically carry the team by himself offensively. So there's perks about having a system, but what it does do is it does hide your individual game. So after KD said this about Kawhi Leonard, you guys, probably were wondering what Kawhi Leonard had to say in response. Well, this right here shows right here how bad Kawhi Leonard was. He was reportedly mad. Kevin Durant said he was a system player. Right? Right after KD said this, Kawhi Leonard was upset and angry of what KD said. So let's go a little bit deeper into that. Y'all come here and smash that like button. He said Kawhi Leonard got upset after Kevin Durant implied in 2014 that he was a product of the San Antonio Spurs system. Now, again, 2014, what happened in 2014? Kawhi Leonard won that championship with the Spurs, right? He won the championship with the San Antonio Spurs. So after he wins his championship on the left, after he's averaging 17 points per game, that's how, Kevin Durant looked at Kawhi Leonard. Now, I don't know why in the hell he said that. Now, did he say, maybe it wasn't before the championship, right? Maybe it was after. I don't know. But he said it around the same time Kawhi Leonard was, playing. So, as y'all see right here, Brian Windhorst of ESPN.com said the following on the ESPN podcast. I was talking to someone about that, somebody who knows Kawhi, and I'm just going to give it to the qualifier here that who really knows Kawhi. I mean, very few. I mean, very, very few people. Yeah, that's very true. Not many people get in Kawhi Leonard's circle. If you're in his circle, that's pretty much his family or one of his guys from high school or college. The only people I know is Uncle Dennis, of course, and Jerome Singleberry, his one of his whole teammates in high school. Those are two of Kawhi Leonard's people that he really, really is locked in with. He don't have no reporters that he reports to. He don't really do interviews. You can't really find Kawhi, as far as, understand, like getting any real information until you ask one of his close people. Right. He said, certainly I'm not saying that this is some sort of insight that is dazzling, but from what I understand, when Kawhi heard that quote that he was a system player, that it was really, it really made him mad, and that's one of the things that you carry with him. So Kawhi wasn't feeling this whole system play talk from Kevin Durant. So since then, I personally believe, and I was talking to somebody about this. Every time he sees KD, he seems to have some type of axe to grind. Like I said, I'm looking at this pre-2016 before KD was, with the before he joined the Warriors, right? Well, after some time went by, there was a different tone from KD in 2016. He said, right here in the quote, he said, Kevin Durant asked about Kawhi Leonard. He said he's definitely grown as a player. He's not a system player, right? He said, since then, Kevin Durant has completely changed his mind about Kawhi Leonard. In 2016, Durant claimed that Leonard has grown as a player, adding that he wasn't a system player anymore. Let me also add something else, too. When he had that tweet, Kevin Durant apparently he deleted it, right? He deleted that tweet, about Kawhi Leonard being a system player. So basically what I'm saying is it was basically a thing about, Kawhi Leonard being in San Antonio with the Spurs from, 2011 to 2015, 2016, that really people kind of looked at Kawhi Leonard a little bit different, saying that he can't carry his own team, right? But Kevin Durant, I don't think was taking a shot at him personally. I just think he was just evaluating the game, what he's seen. He saw Kawhi Leonard basically averaging, 17 points in the, NBA playoffs. He wasn't, the most sexiest scorer. He wasn't this, that, and the other. And he's saying, damn, I'm in the league averaging close to 30. I came in the league, doing this and that. This guy's winning the championship basically off of being a system player. Something else people you got to remember too, Kawhi Leonard won a championship before Kevin Durant did. So you got to remember that. Kevin Durant didn't win a championship, his first title to 2017, 2018, which is why I'm also bring up in a minute. That's going to be comparable. Y'all just stick with me. But Kawhi won a championship before Kevin Durant, so it kind of makes sense, the timing of why he put this out. He's like, damn, I'm looking at this guy. He won the championship, my same position. He's not as, putting all these numbers up like I am. We beat them, in 2012 in the playoffs. We beat the Spurs more than they beat us. Oh man, this dude just getting what he gets because of the coaching under the Popovich. Man, let me watch. What if you had put Paul George in that system? One of his, his close friends. KD quiet as kept. Paul George was his favorite player. He was and that's another thing I want to also bring. I don't want to get too off topic. The Paul George love is throughout the NBA. Y'all, if y'all kind of pay attention, a lot of these top players love Paul George. So there are people in the NBA that have their certain opinions, by separate from the fans and the analysts. But KD said Paul George was his favorite player. So what he was doing was basically taking a indirect shot at Kawhi to up Paul George. But also he was being Kevin Durant, saying this guy is not as great as y'all think he is. Well, that's where KD messed up. That's why I truly believe KD messed up, because there's three people, in my personal opinion, Kawhi has an axe to grind with. That's Kevin Durant, that's LeBron James, that's Luka Doncic. There's three players, again, that Kawhi Leonard has an axe to grind with. Every time he sees them, he's looking out for blood. That's KD, right? Kevin Durant, that's LeBron James. He has an axe to grind with LeBron too. Y'all saw how he went to the Clippers instead of the Lakers. Y'all seen him say, "This was my town, not LeBron's town," right? There was even a quote by Stephen A. Smith. Now, I won't take it. Y'all can actually look it up for yourself. But knowing who Kawhi is, I believe he would say something like this: "Hey, tell LeBron to stop being afraid to guard me." I believe Kawhi would say something like that. See, people think he's just this quiet, stoic dude, bro. Kawhi Leonard is not a quiet, stoic dude. What he is, he don't like to talk, around the media. But he does, engage in, trash talk and banter and things of that nature amongst, people he's comfortable with. And me knowing Kawhi and him being competitive, and he wants to be the top dog, and LeBron James standing in his way, I would see him saying something like that. So he has axe to grind with LeBron, i.e., every time the Clippers been facing the Lakers, they beat them 11 straight times. Now, of course, not all games we had Kawhi Leonard playing with LeBron against LeBron. Certain injuries have been, effective. But for the most part, Kawhi Leonard has a winning percentage against LeBron. And I'm talking about prime Kawhi and prime LeBron. Of course, we see what he does to Luka Doncic every year. Those are the three guys that he seems to have an axe to grind, no matter who it is. He has an axe to grind with them dudes, man. Now, back to Kawhi and KD. That was obviously the wrong thing to say, because, and this goes to my point again, I had a time where I thought KD was better than Kawhi Leonard, because I was looking at it like, well, KD's averaging this year after year, and Kawhi's doing this year after year. But slowly the tables turned. Just like KD eloquently said, he's no longer a system player. As I mentioned yesterday, Kawhi Leonard had to sacrifice his game and hold it back to benefit the team in San Antonio. That's what a lot of players reportedly say. It's not about me, it's about team. So when you take him from San Antonio and then you have him his last year, them same highlights I was playing, right? He averaged 25 points per game that year. He was third in NBA season MVP voting. The Spurs, did they win 60 games that year? I think 61 games. If not 61, close to it, like 58, 59. But after Tim Duncan leaves that team, they get to the conference finals. And quiet is kept. I don't care what no one says. Kawhi Leonard doesn't tear his knee up, I believe they would have beat the Spurs that season, or they beat the Warriors that season. Right? They were beating them. Right? The Warriors won 7 games against James Harden and the Rockets. Now, if y'all don't remember, need a history lesson. The Rockets did not have Chris Paul those last 2 games in games 6 and 7. He was dealing with that hamstring injury. It was a 2018, 2018. They won 7 games with this team. The same guy that people call a choker, a playoff choker. The Warriors were damn near ready to get, beat in that series. And this was with Chris Paul not being there those last 2 games. James Harden and Chris Paul were destroying that Warriors defense. They were destroying them. Right? Now, let me give some credit to, the Warriors in 2019. They came back and actually made a statement when Kevin Durant wasn't there. Right? Kevin Durant wasn't there in 2019. And Steph Curry took control of that game 6. I think when Chris Paul made that statement to Steph Curry to get off the court, try to kick him off the court, Steph Curry took that personal. As I'm giving Steph Curry a compliment, Warrior fans, shout out to Oaktown. Shout out to all the Warrior fans who came on and were upset because I simply said Kawhi Leonard was better. Right, it is what it is. Again, y'all free to come on tomorrow and discuss. But as much as y'all want to give them credit, in 2018, the Rockets had y'all on the ropes. And I say that to say this. Testing. Apologize, y'all, man. If y'all see me cutting any out, I'm gonna try to finish this up 2-3 or 2-1 when Kawhi Leonard was cooking, eliminating the Warriors if Chris Paul did not have pop his hamstring. So James Harden could do that. What makes you think that the Spurs could have not beat the Warriors with Kawhi Leonard playing the peak of his powers? Not just that one game, but the entire year. Again, this is a guy who was second in MVP. Was it second or third? It was between, I think, it was between Steph. I mean, it was between Russ, Kawhi, and Harden. Those are the 3 top guys in the MVP voting. And then LeBron and then Steph were after that. But Kawhi was at the brink of his game, man. And he's doing it on both ends. So don't tell me that the Spurs cannot beat that Warriors team. The Warriors team was not an unbeatable team. Well, just like people want to bring up the excuse that KD got hurt against the Raptors, I don't know what Warrior fans bring it up because these are the same Warrior fans who act like Kevin Durant doesn't matter if he's there or not. So then they want to pull out their back pocket when he's not around. That's the thing that I have a problem with. If you're going to say KD's valuable, don't take away his championships and say, well, we don't need him. We don't need him. And it's true. They did win 2 championships without KD. But for LeBron James, that was the person that y'all needed to grab was Kevin Durant. That is very accurate. Because of LeBron James's tear in that 2016 finals, coming back from that 3-1 lead, that was a psychological hold the Cavs had over the Warriors. Now, could they have possibly still beat the Cavs without Kevin Durant? It's possible. But there was a dramatic shift from what we saw from 2016 to 2017 and 2018. The Cavs got swept and gentlemen swept, breaking up LeBron and Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant was the perfect system for Golden State. And that's why, and people want to say he was said that he was in the system. Well, it looks like Kevin Durant was benefiting from that same system he accused Kawhi Leonard being in. Oh, but you don't want to talk about that. See, this is where I start to make the shift, and I said to myself, okay, maybe my homeboy was right. Kawhi is a better player than KD. Because, see, the Warriors, just like the Spurs, benefited from the system. The Warriors took the Spurs system and basically just added three-point shooting to it. I'm talking about the offensive system, the ball movement, the cutting, right? The shooting. If you watch the Warriors play, they play very similar to the Spurs, how they played. It's just they had three-point snipers such as Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson. And KD benefited from that system. And since KD left that team, he has been unsuccessful for finding any success. He has left. He has moved around from Brooklyn to Phoenix. He's finding out how hard it is to win a championship without beating Golden State. And if he had never left Golden State, you wouldn't be seeing what I'm seeing from KD the last 4 or 5 years. A guy who's giving us the same production stat-wise, but he's unable to lead his team as the guy to a championship. Vice versa, the guy on the right, beside of him, we've seen him lead his team to a championship. We've seen him being in a system. We're seeing his team still be competitive. Kawhi Leonard has never been swept. KD just got swept last year. So when you really kind of break it all up and break it apart, you start looking at, okay, Kawhi got 2 championships, KD got 2 championships. KD obviously is more impactful on the offensive side of the ball. Kawhi is more impactful on the defensive side of the ball. But this is where I say to myself, okay, who would I pick as the better player? Who is the guy that seems to be the more dominant player? Who's more impactful when it comes to winning? Based off of their games, right? Now, I'm going to ask y'all a serious question. Who was the best player of those first 2 games of the series? Was it Kawhi Leonard or Kevin Durant? Matter of fact, what we'll do is we'll actually play it. So, again, I had a time where I thought KD was a better player than Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to keep saying that. But as time went on, more successful than the other player as far as running his own teams, and it was the more impactful player on both ends of the ball. KD just airballed 2 shots. I believe Kawhi Leonard is a better overall player. Now, not saying, again, KD is magnificent offensively. He is. He's a magnificent player offensively. But them 2 first games, Kawhi Leonard was the best player on the court, offensively and defensively. Offensively and defensively, Kawhi Leonard was the best player on both ends. Well, let me guess. Oh, it was 2 games. Okay. You guys talk about 2 games when the Warriors and the Raptors played. Those 8 minutes that Kevin Durant scored 11 points. Y'all have no problem talking about how successful KD was. But when I bring up 3 quarters, or when I bring up 2 games, specific games where everybody was in the playoffs in national television, Kawhi was the better player. I get, oh, that's not a big enough sample size, man. Get the hell out of here. It is what it is, bro. That dude was efficient, damn near shot 60% from the field and locked up KD on the other side. And yes, KD did get his shots when he was wide open. He's Kevin Durant. He's going to hit shots. But in the big moments, when the rubber met the road, it was Kawhi Leonard carrying that team. Without Paul George, and that's another air ball. How many air balls have KD shot when Kawhi Leonard's guarding him? I can take a miss, but when you give me 38 points on a torn meniscus, it's another thing. On a torn meniscus, I'm talking about Kawhi Leonard, and then follow up with another 31-point game performance. That's called dominance. Right? See, when you put people on Kawhi Leonard to have to guard him, there's really no cheat code. There's no way to really defend him, especially now. See, this is another thing too. People ask me when is Kawhi Leonard's peak. Well, personally, we don't know because every time he steps on the court, and he's actually right, the last 3 seasons after 2021, you're talking about this was 2023 playoffs right here. He had 38 points and 31 points, and he guarded Kevin Durant from the start of the game. He guarded Devin Booker. He guarded the top guys, and he was killing them on the other end. The stuff he was doing, and I made a video. I said, this is the best player in the playoffs. I mean, you can't really say this ain't his peak right here. It's just the problem is that he didn't finish. He didn't complete. And that's what people have to keep going with, is because he doesn't complete the series or he doesn't complete the playoff run. It can't be his peak. Your peak is when you actually, performance-wise, you're seeing what you're seeing on the court. Has he lost a step? I don't think he's lost a step at all. I think he's actually a better, more efficient player. Now, defensively, he may not want to put the pressure on his body to have to do it all game, but I don't see anything nobody's able to do with him. He's more efficient. He's actually a better catch and shoot player. When it's time to guard the best players, he will do so on the other end. It's hard to really put out when it's Kawhi Leonard's peak. But like I said, when it comes back to KD and Kawhi, I was looking more so into the earlier years. But as time has went on, I start seeing them on the court, and I start looking at the numbers that I'm about to pull up in a minute. There were games that Kawhi Leonard scored more points than KD, and this was 2 of them right here. These were 2 games that he scored more points than KD. KD, offensively, of course, we keep talking about, is the best scorer that we've seen. You got people that say that. This guy this non-offensive guy, this guy who's primarily defense, outscored KD in both these games in pivotal moments. So let me just end it with this. We're going to have to wait until KD and Kawhi retire before we actually decide who's the greater player. I think Kawhi is a better player than Kevin Durant. And see, the thing is, you guys got to remember, it's a difference between who's better and who's greater. Better is about simply on the court what you guys are seeing, watching. It's more of a raw comparison. Greater is simply who's been basically based off their resume, based off their stats and longevity, who's the greater player. You can say KD is greater than Kawhi Leonard as far as the numbers, as far as, the longevity and all that stuff. But when you look at even these last few years, especially since 2017, they're damn near not really that far off. And like when you look at what Kawhi Leonard has done, he's done things that Kevin Durant hasn't do. I guess the same guy that says the system is what he benefited off of is the same system Kevin Durant. It's the same system he benefited off from. Golden State. And he hasn't been able to prevail since. As a matter of fact, he's getting more and more exposed. He's getting more and more exposed that he cannot win with this without the Golden State Warriors system, which fit him perfectly. See, just like Kawhi Leonard needs certain things, and Steph Curry needs certain things, and LeBron James needs certain things, and James Harden needs certain things, Kevin Durant needs certain things. What does Kevin Durant need around him? Well, he doesn't really need much individually offensively in terms of putting the ball in the basket. He can just do that in his sleep. But what KD does need around him, first off, he needs mentally tough guys around him. That Phoenix Sun team is not going to be mentally tough enough to win a championship because a guy like Draymond Green, and intents his purposes, as much as I dislike how Draymond Green responded to Kevin Durant when he asked for the basketball, Draymond Green was that battery in Kevin Durant's back. That's the guy that says, you will play defense when you get here. You will take this seriously. You're too great not to play defense. You're too great. You're too talented. Put a little bit more effort on the defensive end. It's going to be better for you. That was the best Kevin Durant we've seen offensively, but also defensively. He's still average defender, rim protector now, but in Golden State, he was the best defender of his time. Right? So he needs mentally tough guys around him. He needs a person that's he needs a point guard around. He needs a point guard. He don't need somebody taking the ball out of his hands. Devin Booker is not better than Kevin Durant to this day, but you give him the ball more than Kevin Durant, you're literally asking for Kevin Durant to be a second option. He don't need to be that. So Chris Paul was the perfect player for Kevin Durant, but he's not long. He's gone. So he needs a playmaking point guard, or he needs a playmaking offense, whatever, like Golden State. So those are the two primary things he needs on his team. But the fact that Kawhi Leonard was able to get a championship outside of 2014 and do it without having a quote-unquote system, quote-unquote, Nick Nurse offensively, obviously, is a great system, but he, like I said, his teams, wherever he goes, they're automatically top teams in the season and in the playoffs. The issue is, again, he's just been unhealthy 6 of the last 7 postseason runs. So you ain't been able to really see it. You haven't been able to really see it on a nutshell. You're not going to see Kawhi Leonard as a 6th seed like you saw the Suns this year. That's a 6th seed. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that for the most part. Kevin Durant's declining as far as winning impactful wise. Kawhi Leonard is not declining. You just saw him last year. He was All-NBA second team last year. He was an MVP. He was an MVP candidate last year. Kevin Durant was never an MVP candidate last year at all because his team was not good enough. They never went on a 26-5 run. They never went on a 31-8 run. They never went on a 9-0 run. They never did none of that last year. When Kawhi Leonard was at his best, the Clippers were ascending up. I don't know. I just think when the lights are the brightest, I think Kawhi Leonard is able to carry more than KD. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens within the next few years from now. So, yeah, all respect to KD, all respect to Kawhi. If you guys, whatever y'all feel is, what y'all opinions are, it is what it is. But, yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow and we'll discuss more. So pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull a live page out of here like swimwear.
All right. Melo was good, bro. Hey, I was wrong. Torrey Craig is not the Kawhi stopper. That shit. Hey, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Watching that nigga, bro, that nigga is like a motherfucking Terminator. I don't know who, bro. We ain't got nobody to put on that man, bro. I was wrong. See, I can come in. I don't know what mask. I can come in and tell the truth. That nigga, bro, it don't need, bro. He don't got no moves, bro. Bro, he do the most, bro. That shit is unstoppable. He get to his spot. Hey,
you a real nigga
hey,
for this.
The nigga get to his spots, bro. He ain't got to do too much, bro. He gonna do, bro. That shit damn near unstoppable. I can't lie.
Hey, Mallow.
I'm feeling good, feeling alright tonight. I'm feeling good now. Yeah, it's all good in the neighborhood, homie. Yeah, little ride. I feel good, I feel alright. Cruising through my neighborhood on a warm summer night. I feel good. That's right, I feel good now. Summer night. Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party. Like them summer nights. Keep the top on drop. All the girls looking hot. Hit the photo and we just don't stop. Party until the morning light. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. I just kicked it at home. I polished up the chrome. Called the Ruga on the phone. Let her know I'm home alone. It's 7:30 and the sun's going down. It's a summer night and the fun's going down. I pick her up and she looks all dolled up. Sitting passenger in my rag and Paula. Yeah, I let her know that she looks beautiful to me. The world's an ugly place, but she is such a sight to see. The kind of woman that would put up a fight for me. The kind that wants to spend the summer nights with me. The temp was 80 and I'm cruising with my lady. Playing some Rafi Bagan, ooh baby, baby. I see my homeboys and the cruising in the ride. With their ladies sitting by their side. People think we look crazy, but I think we look classy. But then again, that's only if you ask me. Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. Keep the top on drop, all the girls looking hot. Hit the photo and we just don't stop. Party until the morning light. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. My homeboys throwing the backyard boogie, so everybody gets together to unwind, relax, and have a fun time. The DJ spinning, so I grab the mic and be like, ain't nothing like them summer nights. The party's packed with beautiful women and the gang of the homies that wanna get with them. And they'll say anything just to hit them. And it's usually a nice summer night when they did them. I don't know, it must be something in the air. Can't help but have a good time because the feeling is there. To some people, the feeling is rare. They're at the past saying, God damn, I wish I was there. To have a drink, have a token, hook up with someone fine, but the kind that looks up. Gotta keep some pisto in the cup. Party until the sun comes up, but we give up. Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. Keep the top on drop, all the girls looking hot. Hit the photo and we just don't stop. Party until the morning light. Like them summer nights. Them summer nights can keep a smile on your face. Gotta try to have a good time with your life, otherwise it's just a waste. Either way, I'm gonna party just in case. Like Prince party like it was 99 and 87, 88. I couldn't ask for no better weather. I'm right next to the Pacific, to be specific. The candy paint job glows under the moonlight as I close out my summer night and say goodnight. It's time to put the top up and park it. Drop it, unplug the ground, roll up the windows and lock it. Walk in the pad and fall into bed as she lays on my chest to rest her sleepy head. And we do this all night long, from dusk till dawn. But it's not quite the same when summer nights are gone. But even when they're gone, it won't be long. 8 more months and once again it's on. Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. Keep the top on drop, all the girls looking hot. Hit the photo and we just don't stop.